The insistence of speed at every position is really seen at the defensive end spot. These guys in the old days were often outside linebackers. They just pushed them forward because they wanted to play fast and get to the quarterback or the running backs quicker than ever before.
On second down, here's Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's brought down. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
I know that's their first connection in this game, but you and I both know that Julio Jones is without a doubt his quarterback's favorite target.
Oh, yeah, Matt Ryan loves this guy. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, and the reason that he's that is because of his dependability. And quarterbacks have to have that from their receivers, meaning they know where they're going to be when they're running certain routes. They don't break them on them. They don't change them up and do their own freelance stuff and put their quarterbacks in bad situations. Matt Ryan has ultimate trust in Julio Jones.
Now Ryan on second down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Morris Claiborne. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. The Cowboys offense marches onto the field, and for them, I think the biggest story this preseason, maybe the biggest preseason story across the league, has been Dak Prescott.
It wasn't that long ago, during the preseason, we were discussing about what Dallas would do for a backup quarterback behind Tony Romo. Would they go out and get a veteran? Would they have to make a trade? Instead, now, we're just about Dak Prescott looking like he solidified himself as the number 2 guy.
Well, so they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And, you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number 1 is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass and want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man.
Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third. Here's Prescott. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be fourth down.
I know you've got a baseball background, right?
A little bit. Started in minor league ball.
Yeah, you did some of that, right? What do they do when they do the signals? An indicator, right?
Tells you whether it goes or not, yeah.
Yeah, whether the play's on or not. How about the indicators offensive linemen give when they're getting ready to run a screen pass? And if those get red, well, we just saw that there, didn't we?
No gain.
No gain. Deciphered it and finished the play off.
They go back to the air here after the INT. Jones has it. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And he's brought down. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
As a former defender, Brandon, the goal was always to tackle the receiver immediately after the catch. When you missed and gave up additional yardage, you didn't make anyone on your team happy. That's why I'm sitting here next to you.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
On second down, Ryan. He's going to fire one. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Falcons. Jacob Tammy, 42 yards. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And his kick is right through. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Bryant, the lone receiver left. Now Prescott. He's got the connection to Cole Beasley. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll make it 3rd down. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. They'll face a 3rd down conversion attempt here, 3rd and 3. They'll look to throw. And here's the first NFL reception for the rookie Ezekiel Elliott. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Now it's the Florida Atlantic alum. This is Alfred Morris. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Dez Bryant, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 2nd and 10.
Help me out, partner. Was that incomplete?
That was on a deep ball to Dez.
And that's a surprise. The way he attacks the football in the air, it's always surprising to me when he doesn't complete a pass like that.
And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Cole Beasley, the intended target. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys. Because
oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. Throws right side, and that's complete. Give him 9 on the play, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down. And the coach has decided to challenge this play. He has tossed down the red flag. And the challenge pays dividends. The ref overturns the play.
Everyone gets a bonus on this one, Brandon. The coach upstairs who signaled down and said challenge it, and the head coach for pulling the red flag.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. A good pickup there at 20 yards. And the offense readies for play number 10 of this series. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
They'll set up a throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, James Hanna. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they get the field goal, but part of that was a 14-play drive to get the 3.
Normally, when you hold the ball that long, run that many plays, you end up in the end zone. There's a breakdown on the defense. Something happens. In this case, that didn't. But really good ball control by the offense. They're hoping that they can wear them down if they keep having drives like that.
Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. And they'll give it to him here. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. On 2nd down, here's Ryan. Getting it out left side to Sanu. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
So here we go, a 3rd down after the 2nd down pass completion. From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. And Robinson with a big catch. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
And fit's the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They come out here in the eye. Now Ryan on 2nd down. And Tammy with it over the middle. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 2 minutes to play here in the 1st half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. They go play action here on 1st down. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
One of the selling points of the corner route is usually the receiver is able to move away from the defender. But in this case, he didn't get that far away.
From the red zone now, here's Ryan on 1st down. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he's brought down. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field. And
that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones from 4 yards out. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And out now come the Cowboys. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the three-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bag.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it second down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Sliding out of the pocket. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and pick.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jonathan Babineau with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8. They'll come out in the pistol. Here's Prescott. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Now Prescott. He's got time. He's going to look deep down the field. And is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL. Well, we're going to let you off a little easy there, LR. Halftime interrupted, and we are ready to get to this third quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. And it'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Again, we'll see the pistol here. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Really tough drive, but that run helped salvage something there because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back. And now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense.
Now it's Ryan. It's caught left side, Tammy. And now look at this, big game. And this is going to be brought back for a fumble return touchdown by the Cowboys. Bryant now to tack on the extra point. And it's 21-3. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because that's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
They'll run with Elliott, trying to run inside, but nothing there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line splits and spreading the field. I think that would be a great strategy right now to try to open things up in the run game. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance.
Trying here for Bryant, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Robert Alford. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time, the fumble, the turnover. Now they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
That's the relief that you still have the lead, but coaches look at what if and what it should be. Turning the ball over when they got a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking to future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it. You want to clean up everything. Let's just be honest about it. They want everything to be perfect at all times. They don't want to give up anything that's going to hurt their team.
On second down, here's Ryan. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cole Beasley, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Cowboys use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll bring up second down. 7 yards to go on second down. Another pistol look here. They'll come out in the pistol. Here's the option going right. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
From midfield now, here's Ryan. Flush to his right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot, but they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
From the gun on third down, Ryan. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Charles Tapper in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to fourth down. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field, and they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch in the end zone again. They know it's not easy.
And that's caught at the 25. A big play here for Dallas. 56 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. That is caught inside the 5. A good pickup there at 22.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott taking it in from a yard out. And the Cowboys have cut it to within a score. So they're going to go for 2. And the big tight end shifting around. They'll try and sneak it. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Julio Jones all alone. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in the diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove manufacturers got smart and started adding to it, and here we are today.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Before that last pass, 2 interceptions had already been thrown, and this last one tipped in the air, which means everyone on defense is almost fighting each other in order to get to the football to try and make it a third. Once you've thrown a couple, it's almost like a swarm of bees going after the ball, and in this case, they weren't able to get there before it fell to the ground.
And the offense looks to pick up the first here on third after that incompletion.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Des Bryant, 39 yards. And the Cowboys draw a bit closer. And the defensive there, that was a battle. He just made a really nice play.
A really nice play, making sure his body position was correct. And how about the throw? Zipped it in there.
And it results in the touchdown. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
On first down, Ryan. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll bring up a second down.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
Five yards left for the offense. It's second down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Now Ryan on second down, surveying the field. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Morris Claiborne. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And this is going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Ezekiel Elliott, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
And there was a good opportunity that just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Here's Prescott. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Now Prescott. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And this one is right down the middle. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. Well, you talk about clutch right down the pipe, and this game's all even here in the fourth.
And he didn't leave much doubt there, did he? Good snap, good hold, and that one was dead center.
And the Falcons now making their way back out onto the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
On second down, Ryan connects with Sanu right side. And he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. He's going to get the football. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. On 2nd down, here's Ryan. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. Give him 30 yards there.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody has that ability, they want them on their team.
Here's Ryan. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. When tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. You know, put a little sand down on the stage.
I'll take your word for it, my man. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And he can't hang on. He had a good shot there for his 3rd pick of the game. Instead, it's 3rd down.
Well, an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play. For the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. On 3rd down, Ryan. Being chased out left. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And with that, they will move out in front by 3. So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front, but then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out, and you think, I don't know, the field goals are going to be enough to get us home.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points points out of, they've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Now a play fake here on first down. Forced out to his left. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. So this offense really needs to make something happen here late in the fourth with the football. 10th carry now for Elliott. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. And leading here late, so a chance for the defense to really close out this game if they can halt the offense. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And that's caught by Beasley. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. This is Morris. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Again, we'll see the pistol here. They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So out come the Falcons now. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game. Although it looks good, you know the coaches, they haven't counted this as a victory yet.
I agree with you totally. Big applause for the defense, but no one is taking their headset off on the sidelines. They don't believe this game is over. The offense has to close this one out by taking care of the football.
And they'll try to close it out now. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he's going to be taken down right at and now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Decent chunk of yardage still left here. 2nd and 7. They come up in an offset eye. Freeman again. And he'll take this up only to about. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And on third down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. Here's Ryan. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. And when these two are clicking, Ryan and Jones, and we've seen multiple hookups here in this one, usually their offense is clicking, and that's why they're winning.
Yeah, they tend to follow what those two do. They set the tone for either a good day or maybe a tougher day. And right now, we're seeing an excellent game because those two are finding each other. Doesn't matter where on the field, they're making plays.
They come out here in the eye. Ryan wants to throw it. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And this is going to be brought back for a fumble return touchdown by the Cowboys. And that is a tough pill to swallow. All they had to do, Charles, keep the ball, work this clock.
The only way for the defense to win was to force the fumble, and they did. Took it the other way for a score, and now if you're the offensive team, it will take a miracle, perhaps, to win this ball game.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. One possession game, time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. He'll look to throw. Complete over the middle to Hardy. And he's brought down after a good gain. A gain of 32 that time. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory? It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. Shift together here from the D-line. Back to throw. And this one incomplete. So the clock stopped now with 20 seconds remaining.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. He was looking for his tight end, Jacob Tammy, there. And that'll bring up fourth down.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Down 4 late. Got to go for it here on fourth down. Here we go. It's Ryan on fourth down. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off here by Anthony Hitchens. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. 2 timeouts remaining defensively, but that shouldn't make much difference right here.
It really shouldn't, but a lot of coaches look at it similar to baseball with the intentional walk.
Always bringing in other sports.
Always, hey, listen, think about the intentional walk, right? What if one gets past the catcher? What if he uncorks a wild one and now you still have an opportunity? That's why they like to use them all the way through.
This is one of those games where you hate that anybody has to lose. So many points, so many great offensive outputs individually and collectively, but somebody had to go down.
And even the losing team had fun, although they won't admit it to us here. They had a blast because that kind of football...